All right, Ariel. So here we have actually another rule. So remember how the number underneath the division bridge is the dividend, or the number being divided, and the number on the outside is a divisor, or the number dividing. So this is one of those rules that I went over maybe once or twice, but it's kind of hard to remember, but you kind of have to remember. So you see how the decimal this time's in the divisor, or the number dividing. So there's a special thing you have to do. So what you have to do is, you actually can't have a decimal in the divisor. So what I do is, I have to multiply this number by 10, or move the decimal behind it. So that is technically no longer 8/10, is now 8 wholes. But if I multiply the divisor by 10, I'm also multiplying the dividend by 10. So what that means is, I'm also moving the decimal here over one time. So this number also gets 10 times bigger. So essentially we multiply both of these numbers by 10 to make them 10 times bigger, so that we could have a whole number as our divisor. So the rest is the same. Does McDonald's serve burgers? Right. The rest is the same as usual. So we're trying to figure out, does 8 fit inside of 3? No. Does 8 fit inside of 36? Yes. How many times? 4 times. So then it's the multiplication now that we did the division. So then we have 4 times 8, which is 32. And now we subtract. So it's 36 minus 32, which is 4. Then you bring down. So now we're bringing down the 8. So does 8 fit inside of 48? Yes, it does, 6 times. So now it is 6 times 8, which is 48. And I know this, and then you subtract. So I know right now, typically kids get confused, like what to do is just a 0 here. You repeat the process, because you still have to bring this 0 down. So does 8 fit inside of 0? Yes, it fits inside of 0 0 times. I mean, or not really, no it doesn't. Then it's 0 times 8, which is 0. You subtract, and then this is your answer. And since the decimal's in the back here, this number is technically equal to 460, because you see how there's a 0 in the thousands place, so that's the answer, 460. So 8/10 fits inside of 368 460 times. That's what this math means right here. So we have one more over here, where we have a 11 being divided by 8/10. So again, we cannot have a decimal in the divisor. So what we do is we multiply both of these numbers by 10 to make them bigger. So if we multiply 8/10 by 10, it becomes 8 wholes, right? And if we multiply 11 by 10, it becomes 110, right? You just put a 0 on the end for whole numbers. So now we have to go through the process. So again, first we divide. Does 8 fit inside of 1? No. Does 8 fit inside of 11? Yeah, it does, 1 time. All right, now we're on the M, multiply. 1 times 8 equals 8. Now we're on the S for subtract. 11 minus 8 is 3. Now we're on the B for bring down. We bring down the 0. All right, does 8 fit inside of 30? Yes, it does. It fits inside of 30 3 times, okay? 3 times 8, 24. Then we could subtract 30 minus 24, which is 6. All right. And at this point, since we're doing decimal division, we cannot stop. But notice how this is the hundreds place, the tens place, and that's the ones place. We have to keep going. So that means that always between the ones place and the tens place is a decimal. So there's a decimal here. And this is what we're going to do again, what we did earlier, where we're going to put a 0 here to bring down, because we can't stop. because we have a remainder here. So we're going to put that 0. So that's the bring down. Now we're repeating the process again. So does 8 fit inside of 60? Yeah, it does, 7 times. So 7 times 8 is going to get us 56. So then 60 minus 56 is going to get us 4. So then this time, again, we have a remainder. So we have to put another 0 here. And what we're technically doing is we're regrouping backwards. So this is, first we were in the 10th place, now we're in the 100th place. So that's why we're getting all these smaller numbers over here. And this becomes 40 down here. So does 8 fit inside of 40? It does. It fits inside 5 times. 5 times 8, 40. 40 minus 40, 0. So since we don't have a remainder anymore, that means we don't have to bring anything else down and we're done. So can 8/10 fit inside of 11? Yes. It fit inside of 11, 13, and 75/100ths of a time. Okay. Hopefully this is helpful. All right. If you have any more questions, please let me know.